Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, 87ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airwaves with SAM-scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. The crossband repeater and spits out images of 1.2 gigahertz. So for that, I'm going to pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before our net gets fully underway here on the 08 machine. Again, this is Dave, 87CYM. Being no response, again, we'll get the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net underway here on the 08 machine. We utilize the 08 machine for voice transmission. The videos are covered by the transmission of the Cougar Mountain on the repeater up there, minus audio. So that's why we're utilizing the 08 machine. And checked in this evening is Bert N7CS. Richard, K7ITX, Jim, N720, and myself, Dave, 87CYM, and I see WW7N, James, is checked in. Is anybody else wishing to check in this evening?
Jessica, KF7UHK.
And we got Jessica, KF7UHK. Anybody else?
W7ITL.
Wait, W7ATS, thanks for joining in. And let's see if we can get the ball rolling on the net this evening. Raindrops are dropping a little bit, so let's go to Jessica, KS7UHK.
KS7UHK played sure rain last night, and a little bit today. I went up to Mount Vernon. By the way, this is Jessica, KS7UHK up here in Everett. And I went to Mount Vernon to check out our little house up there. And one of our evergreen trees got blown over, but we just planted it not so long ago. So I was able to dig a hole and put it back in the ground. But it was that much wood that knocked over one of our, I guess it's called an emerald green tree. It's kind of one of these narrow trees. It's about as wide around as a bucket and kind of gets tall. So went up to fix that up and collected some of my lasers. A friend of mine is going to be doing some stuff at Halloween and like some of my lights. So I pull out a scat of things so he can use and go take to his Halloween show he puts on. And it's a pretty neat thing. So that's what I did today, and it was a nice day. This is KF7UHK.
Jessica, thanks for that. Let's get a bit of
Well, good evening, everyone that's on the net tonight. Let's see, I'll just keep this first round pretty quick. Weather wasn't too bad at my place today, just some drizzle, a little bit of rain. My wife and I decided to go eat at a restaurant today in Mill Creek, Washington. And the interesting thing there was when we walked in, they made us stick our head up against the machine to take our temperature, which that's the first time I've been at a restaurant check for my temperature. I've seen them do it to employees before at lots of restaurants, but never to people just coming to eat. But anyway, that's my first round here. This is Bert and Marysville, N7CS, back to net.
N7CS, thanks for that, Richard. All right, let's go to Richard then. K7ITX, Richard.
Okay, well, yeah, here we go. Yeah, the YouTube is working a lot faster tonight, that's for sure, compared to last Wednesday. So yeah, we had, actually I thought we were going to lose some power for an extended period last night, but actually my power outage, I had 2 or 3 of them, both lasted, 2 of the 3 lasted about 15 seconds. One of the 3 lasted more like about a minute and a half, that was the one that I thought might be the extended. But then, nope, after that, and then of course during all that I could hear, transformers or things shorting out in the neighborhood, that kind of thing. But I got lucky. Didn't have to use my phone as a flashlight. I thought of that you always have that as an emergency option. So, I'll give you a baseball report. I think it's going to be a good report because I just got a text from my sister who I'm in the semifinals with, and it looks like a real unhappy teddy bear. So I think that might be a good sign for me. KD70M, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, Richard, thanks for that. Let's go to Wade. W7ITL in Tacoma, and I understand they had about 1.5 inches of rain there last night.
W7ITL, and there we go. Hey, so yeah, it was raining quite hard today, but it's back to normal and just hazy and kind of cold. But you enjoy the kind of fall temperatures. It's nice. Today I worked on the house. We installed a couple of cupboards in our kitchen, and got those up there and got all our stuff moved around. So it's a little more room in the kitchen now. So I'll let you take the net back, Dave. And this is W7ITL. I'm going to might be skipping next round, and I'll be back after that but you'd still call me out. But it's going to be here in a little bit. W7ITL, back to net.
W7ITL, put you on the side on hold. Let's see if Jim's with us. N7QO.
N7QO. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dave. We've had a whole bunch of rain coming down here. There are some significant puddles still in low spots near my house here. Our power stayed up. It blinked a couple of times pretty significantly, but it hung in there. However, our cable went down, so I was without television and without internet for, for maybe 2 hours or so before bed, and then by the time we woke up in the morning, it was restored. So, happy about that. Let's see. Bert, I've never had, actually I haven't probably gone to even any restaurants since this epidemic going on here. But I've noticed there are some places, like my barber takes your temperature every time you show up there. I don't know. Kind of crazy. Let's see. I see the inside of the repeater. Don't know if I'm getting out or not, but apparently not. Anyway, back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, Jim, thanks for that. Let's go to James. W7.
Okay, video signal reports. No, Jim, I did not see even that ghostly image, but that might not be anything that's changed at your end. Tonight we have what I call the windy image off the mountain, and that is whenever there seems to be rain and wind, we get this varying of signal, is what I'm getting right now at my location, Northeast Bellevue. It looks like Lee just joined us. Anyway, let's see. The report about going to a restaurant is interesting to me. That makes an infinite amount more sense than telling some 17-year-old waitress that she's supposed to check my proof or non-proof of vaccine. I'm sorry, I don't get that. We don't even live in a country where there's any kind of like standardized system or something where you would say, like enter it on an app in your iPhone before you go to the restaurant or some such. I
guess I could moon the waitress, and if the tattoo on my butt proves that I got vaccinated, I mean, what would she say? No, we don't accept moonings at this restaurant? I mean, you're just wide open on that. But apparently that's supposed to start October 25th, but I hope they change it, now that you've mentioned it, to checking your temperature, because that seems like something that's real. I mean, that's something that everybody could do, and I don't think anybody would mind that. Let's see, the other thing, well, Jessica, I'm glad you were able to save the tree. It sounds like the kind of tree that what Charlie Brown would kind of save, and you can have an ornament on it this Christmas, maybe, if it's strong enough by then. I'm glad to hear it wasn't a big tree and it's not in your kitchen or something like that. When you started that, I was kind of wondering if that's where you were going with that one. My power report. Last night between 10 and 11, got some pretty significant hits, enough that I disconnected one carbon monoxide alarm in my house that when the power goes out, it lets out a screaming wail about every minute to 2 minutes to let you know the power's out. And the 9-volt battery usually lasts a few hours before it's dead as a doornail, and then it makes little squeals until that dies. So you have to replace 9-volt battery if it goes for any length of time. So my other carbon monoxide detector I have plugged into one of my UPS systems. But I was getting enough power activity between 10 and 11. I just got up and disconnected that one completely before I decided to, get woke up again at 1 o'clock or something. Oh, and I did want to show Richard especially something here. This is my electromagnetic pulse-proof flashlight. And it has an advantage over using your phone as a flashlight, but even if there's, something like, an electromagnetic pulse generated electronically by nuclear weapons, the bulb in it will continue to function. Not that you would continue to function, but the bulb would continue to function. That's because it's something called incandescent. I have some of these bulbs, and if you want some, I would part with them for only a small portion. Anyway, that's it for me, James in Northeast Bellevue. Let me turn it back to our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Dave, take it away.
Thanks for that, Jim. This is WW7ATS in Lake City. And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. That's on the 08 machine. Oh my, here in Lake City we got 54 degrees and it's raining outside. So far I've got about 1.25 inches on the rain gauge in the last 24 hours here in Lake City. And notice that my rhododendrons are no longer suffering from UV. They're all perky and the leaves are standing up in full force. So the rain has certainly been appreciated by the rhododendrons. And I go back up to Richard with his iPhone flashlight. Boy, the new iPhones are out. Only $1,000 for that emergency light on your phone. Boy, what a backup deal you have. Be a real person. Be ready for any emergency with a $1,000 flashlight. Well, anyway, watching some of the football games this afternoon, college games, especially tuned into the first half of the WSU game, and I'd say there was only about one person in 50 that was wearing a mask, but the place was just crammed with students. And then went over to some of the other college games, and the stands were just filled with students without masks on. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in a couple of weeks with this college crowd that's happening with COVID. So with that, let's go back up to Jessica, KF7UHK, and then followed by Lee at 7KC.
Incandescent. Well, I haven't heard that word. I haven't heard that word for a while. I just gave away a bunch of compact fluorescent lights that I had up in a closet up here that when we bought our condo 8 years ago, whoever refurbished this place here changed all the light bulbs and did a bunch of work on the place and left about 15 compact fluorescents up in the closet in boxes, like from contractor type packs. And our neighbor upstairs needed some lights, so I gave them all away to her. And so she's got the compact fluorescents. I have LEDs on everything. So yeah, if the EMP hits, I'm toast. I'm toast right here. Everything in my place is LED. So I find that interesting. Yeah, those are just little. It's called the emerald green. I'm gonna have to get off the phone here. I have to get off the thing here. This is KF7. You guys check.
KF7UHK. Well, let's try Lee in 7KC and see how things are. coast. Am I on? Testing 1, 2, 3. I made it. All right, 10-7KC, you're in for Angela. Well, in Kansas, Justin. Now, isn't that an interesting... Where have I heard that before? Well, you know, the compact fluorescence, we had 2 catch fire in Seattle. One of them blew the whole socket up completely, and the other one just charred the base really badly. So, we have no compact fluorescence anyplace. They're all LEDs here. And especially the ones that have a tiny little bit of circuitry right in the candelabra base. They don't have that big thing. They're really cool. I don't know if you see them or not. Costco sells them. Like the whole thing is just white, and they're really, I like them. And there's everything's in a glass envelope, and I just don't think there's anything to really go wrong with them. Yeah, I'm a little late because of the salmon run. The Washington State Salmon Run today, which is the annual contest with the Western Washington DX Club, is underway, and I'm having a good time. Most of my contacts so far have been on 80 meters, believe it or not. I got a few on 40. Goes to midnight tonight, and then stops until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then goes till 5. So, largely that's where you can find me. I mean, I am just bleary-eyed right now. I'm just really a mess. The rain, we had a nice rain event. We got 0.97 out of that system that just went through. Boy, that's just wonderful. Just wonderful. I got my 6x6 farm bell post up. I did that Friday. Yeah, I did it yesterday. And then today I painted the bell. I took a little break and ran out. Really, after the rain, it's just a lovely day here. Beautiful day. So I went out and painted the bell and the yoke and the clapper. And so at the first opportunity, we'll try to get that thing assembled. I haven't figured out how to get it up on the post yet. It's pretty heavy, and it's got to go about 8 feet in the air, so we'll have to dream up something clever. Okay, I'm out of time. Better quit. In 7KC. And for Anglos, back to you, Dave.
Connected N7KC.
N7KC, thanks for that. Let's go to Bert, N7CS.
Okay, good luck catching those salmon QSOs. Sounds like you're going to have another late night tonight. There was talk of power outages that some of you were having earlier. Let's see, that reminds me, the electrician finally called me, and my whole house generator is scheduled to be installed on October 11th and 12th. So just another couple of weeks. Hopefully we won't have a windstorm that affects me before then. We'll see how that goes. Oh, and then I think, James, you were talking about some carbon monoxide stuff. I thought I heard something about that. And before the net, we were talking on Zoom about, Dave was asking me how my new car's doing, the new electric car I had. And one thing that's funny is that there's actually a page in the manual for the car that talks about like carbon monoxide warnings. So they must have just left that in there from the non-EV version of the car and didn't bother to take it out of the manual. But okay, that's probably enough for now. So this is Bert in Marysville in 7CS. Back to that. Oh, my video. Oh, I don't. Okay, somehow I turned my video off. Okay, back to that N7CS.
Oh my, N7CS, carbon monoxide in an electric car. Yes, got to be careful about that. Let's go on to Richard, T7ITX.
Looks like I'm barely under control here. Yeah, I wondered if I did that, Bert, or you did it. Right when we lost your video, I had a cat and dog fight, and I pressed the button, and I don't know what I pressed, and the next thing I know, you were gone. Oh, then you totally gone. So, well, maybe, we'll see if we'll get you back on Zoom. Okay, there you are. Good. All right, let's see. Okay, well, the good news is, my Seattle Sonics baseball team has a score of 624 points versus Twisp Chickadees 509. So, and we're just about hitting the tail end of all the competition for today, and so I have one more game to go, being 115 points ahead. That gives me quite a comfortable lead going into tomorrow, and so I'm looking forward to playing my sister's son, which would be I guess that'd be my son-in-law. He already told my sister that, or he told his mom that her A-blank-SS is Graf. So I guess now that means he's looking forward to playing me, and I'm the rookie, and he's the guy that set this whole thing up. So I'm pretty excited about, well, the thing of it is, my sister is a leather glass artisan, and she's known to make these really neat trophies for people that win. Well, like my son won the fantasy football, got a beautiful piece of leather glass work from her, and she did comment at the beginning of the baseball season that she always wins baseball, and she's never had to worry about making a trophy for anybody else. Well, we'll see what happens. So with that, KD70AM, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, Richard. Let's see, we'll pass this time on Wade, W7ITL, and move on to Jim, M7QO, and get an ID here. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. On the 08 machine, I'm Dave, KD7CYM. So Jim, M7QO, the mic is yours.
M7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Dick, good luck with that. Sounds like a little friendly competition. That's great. Let's see. Carbon monoxide detectors in an electric car. I wonder if that could be to detect someone just lit up a cigarette or something. I don't know. Sounds a little strange to me. The salmon run. Oh, I forgot all about that. I have just way too much on my plate to mess with anything. I remember last year when the salmon run was on. That seems like it was all about 2 months ago. Man, is it just me, but time seems to be accelerating rapidly. Maybe it's a function of my age, or maybe it's a function of the crazy pandemic. I don't know what it is, but really strange. Let's see. I've had good luck with contact fluorescence. I haven't had any blow up on me. I've had 1 or 2 that have failed, I thought, more quickly than they ought to, but I have a bunch around the house. EMP-proof flashlight. Thanks for mentioning that, Jim. I hadn't really thought about that. Mooning. I don't know if they check your temperature. What if you have a hot butt? I don't know. I guess if you're just going into a restaurant, it doesn't matter. I used to have a car that had a vinyl seat in it, and every time I would sit in the car for more than about 15 minutes, my butt would sweat. So that would not be good. But now I have an upholstered seat, so it's cloth, so I'm good. Let's see, what else here? Oh, new iPhones. Yeah, reset. I don't know. It's so easy to spend a lot of money on cell phones nowadays. It's just, it's frequently important to have the latest and the greatest because a lot of the apps are written for the latest versions, and for that matter, as apps are revised, they tend to work with newer operating systems. But wow, if they're $1,000 for a phone that you carry in your pocket, I don't know. That's I don't think I'm going to do that again. Well, I don't think I'm ever going to do that. Let me put it that way. I would if the situation were a little bit different financially, but no, not me, unfortunately. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
N7QO, this is Dave, QD7ZYM in Lake City. Oh my, for Lee, the salmon run sounds exciting. Is the trophy really a gold-plated orca that you get for accumulating a lot of contacts, or what is a trophy? But anyway, an idea with that. And a detector in the car for gas. Well, it depends on what kind of gas, I guess, you could set it off with. Especially if you had plastic seats in your car. After a while, it might accumulate a little bit of gas in the car. Anyway, that sounds like something to look into. And with that, let's go back up to the top to Jessica, KS7UHK.
I was imagining a hot button. I was thinking just TMI is too much information. Let's see, last year's salmon run, I think I helped out Chris over on station K7II. He's an extra, so I'm only a lowly technician, so I don't have any rights to transmit, but I was at his place working his equipment, and that was fun. I don't think we stayed very long last year, but the year before that, I think we stayed probably 3 or 4 hours. Let's see, the twist chickadees. It sounds like a tasty treat. It sounds like something you put in the fryer, something hot in the grease fryer. And we have a little restaurant, speaking of fryers, we have a restaurant next door to us that we really like called Los Potillos, which I think means the pony. And it's really, really good, just classical Mexican food, and they treat us like family, and we always go in there, and they're very nice to us, and we're nice to them, and we just love the place. And cell phones, I still don't have one. Sylvia has a cell phone, but I do not own a cell phone, so I just use one of those old-fashioned, not connected by wire to the landline, and it works good for me. If you need to find me, you'll find me on the telephone. If you won't find me on the telephone, you won't find me in my cell phone, because I just don't like all that extra little bit of buttons that you have to push. If they had bigger buttons, maybe, but I never got into them. Battery operated things, I just don't like. So there you go with that. I think let's see. Oh, and Bert, with your generator, we're all moving in. This is KF7 News Trip.
Yeah, and getting instant answers on the internet that you take on their phone. And I decided, well, I wanted to try that, And so we had flip phones, my wife and I, and so I went to the smartphone, and now you couldn't wrestle it out of my hands. I love that thing. I probably shouldn't, but I do. Interesting thing here, we have not next door neighbors, but just not very far from it, Paul and his wife, they're good Trump Republicans. Guess what they've got? I don't know how they're doing, but they both got the COVID. And, what can you say, Anyway, good luck, I guess. I don't have a guess. The salmon run, no need to worry here about me winning the salmon run. That will never happen. But it is fun. I'm doing the CW version of it. you know, it's a sideband, CW, and I think digital too. And it's just to see how many contacts you can make. Kind of different. If you talk to somebody outside of Washington, then they give a 5 and the states are in, but if it's somebody in, there's 39 counties. 39 counties in Washington, and call them is CLAL. So I have a list of them here. So the exchange is just real simple. It's 5NN, 599, and cut numbers are N, 9 is an N, and CW. And then your county abbreviation. That's all there is to it. It's a lot of fun. N7KC, back to you, Dave. Chris.
7KC, thanks for that. Let's go to Bert, N7CS.
Okay, well, hello to everyone again. Yeah, Richard, I think you might have accidentally hit a button during the cat and dog fight, because I think it banned my video, because when I tried to re-enable video, it kept telling me that you are not permitted. So I was able to exit the Zoom and come back, and then it worked okay. So we'll just blame your cat and dog on that one. Although the stream seems to be getting a bit of latency again for me, because I'm just seeing some static black and white stuff right now, so we'll see if it comes back, but a little later. Jim, for your problem with the weather seats and that issue you talked about, well, the new cars, some of them come with like ventilated seats, so now you can like actually pipe air conditioning through the seat, so you won't have to worry about that hot butt problem anymore. And just in changing the subject, I did see that there were some astronomers that had been recording video from Jupiter, I think sometime this week, and just through their telescope, and they actually captured some explosions, so something must have hit it, and they caught a neat little explosion on video. And and then speaking of space stuff, the Inspiration 4, that all-civilian space mission, they were able to land today successfully in the Atlantic Ocean. So they came back all safely, safe and sound. So they were nice enough to launch on Wednesday, like before our net, and also land on Saturday before our net. So good timing for them. I guess they were taking us into account for that. Anyway, this is Bert in Marysville, N7CS, back to net.
N7CS, great, thanks for that. Let's see, we had Ed sign on WB2 QHS. Ed, are you on the 08 machine? WB2 QHS. Ed, are you on the 08 machine?
Earlier, except my wife forgot that I had an 8 o'clock schedule here and had dinner ready at 8 o'clock. So, some of you have already joined us on our Monday night net, but Richard has the info on our Monday night Zoom. So, I'm in Portland, Oregon, and our repeater is presently down. I think a power supply is gone, and even when it is up, it's in such a location that the antennas are actually below the tree line up the broadcast hill, so we really need to find a new location for it. So other than that, I don't have anything further, but glad to be here. I can hang around for about 10 minutes, and I don't know who gets it next.
Well, thanks for dropping in on the net from Portland, Ed, WB2QHS. We'll keep you in rotation. Let's go to James, WW7ATS.
Yes, Ed, welcome from Portland. Always great to have people from other groups or other areas join us. Let's see. Jessica, good move. The little curly bulbs, I think I told everybody on the net, last group of dead ones I gave away at the recycle place. The guy said there was a limit of like 5 per person per day or something like that. So if they still work, you want to give them away so they can go into SEP status. And in recycling, that's called somebody else's problem. Big buttons. Okay. I actually have a phone, it's just barely out of reach here, that has these giant-sized buttons on it. I got it out of an estate situation. It's a landline phone. And I wondered what that was for. And it's for people that are perhaps partially, visually impaired, or maybe they have arthritis or neurological problems. And I thought that was a really good idea. And then I did more reading on that when I got that landline phone. And someone does make a cell phone, at least they used to. I don't know if it was ever a commercial success or not. With really huge buttons and very simple. All it does is you dial the phone and you push send or you push answer. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. Apparently one time there was a market for that, but I'm afraid I'm like Lee. I'm completely addicted to my iPhone 5S. So I replaced the battery in it once and probably will again, at least until Apple denies me the right to upgrade my iOS. Good hunting, Lee, on the Salmon QSOs. Let's see, the other thing I was going to mention, third, I asked them to do the launch and the landing at that time, since I was a major financier, because I thought that would be giving something on the net to talk about. They said sure, they would be happy to accommodate that. So, and as far as astronomers looking at Jupiter for explosions, I used to do that in an aircraft, but I did it over Beirut, that was 30 years ago. It was the same idea, except that you just look at your own planet instead of, faraway planets. But, we catch one occasionally. So anyway, let's see, I guess that's about it for me on this one. So let me just turn it back to our next info for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Dave, take it away.
WW7ATS, this is Dave, 87ZYM in Lake City. You can get another ID out. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. That's on the 08 machine. Again, I'm Dave, 87ZYM. And for James, I think that was a novel idea to have the phone with the big buttons on it. But I can remember not too many years ago, they advertised on TV you could get a controller for your remote control for your TV, and it had these like 3/4-inch buttons on it for each channel that you could press to get whatever you wanted on your own home television set. So I thought that was kind of interesting. However, I didn't bite on it, as most of those things, as seen on TV that you buy, they always want shipping and carrying charges, everything you buy on there, even though they offer it at a ridiculous low price. And that's about it from here from Lake City. Again, it was great to see Ed, WB2QHS, join us. And so let's turn the mic back over to Ed again. WB2QHS input.
I think he passed it back to me. Is that right, Richard?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay. His audio is really low here. And I don't know, you must be doing something strange with the audio because a lot of the audio doesn't sound like it's direct into Zoom. Maybe it's going through radio or internet and then coming into Zoom that way?
Well, it's over the air and I'm patching you in over the air.
Not everybody.
Everybody can hear you on 2 meter.
Oh, okay.
So, everybody in the Seattle area can hear you right now.
Your audio is really good on Zoom, and some of the others sound like they're coming off radio somewhere. So, and David, his audio on Zoom is very low, so I have to kind of turn things up for that. But other than that, I don't have anything else new to report here. I was hoping some of the other fellows from Portland, our Monday night at 7 p.m. Is just a Zoom meeting, and when our repeater went down, we just started using Zoom, and it's at 7 p.m., and we have one fellow from close to Boise. We have one fellow from Australia, BK, and then Dennis and I are from Portland, Oregon. And that's what's left of our we used to have a Monday and Saturday night repeater net, but we've just kind of gone back to Monday night and doing it on Zoom so we can figure out a better deal. And of course we were on BATC, and our BATC channel was W7AMQ. And since we were all using the same
input for AM2 rather than just the repeater. Every time somebody went away and the next person came up, everything had to be reset. It would have been great if we were just looking at the repeater output for an hour, but that's not how we did it. So the Zoom thing, I think, is shortly I'm going to take off here and go back to the family, and hopefully more of the Portland crew can join us, and I hope you all get a chance to join us on Monday night at 7 o'clock. We use the same Zoom password and ID every week, same one. So if I think Richard, you have it, you could send it to everybody, right? Okay, and you folks are all welcome to join us. So I guess David, back to you if you're in control.
WW7ATS, thanks for that. This is Dave, WW7ATS in Lake City, Washington. Let's get an ID for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. Again, I'm Dave, WW7ATS, that ID. Let's go to Jim, N7QO. I think I bypassed him.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, I lost track of who was in what order. Anyway, Ed, haven't heard from you before. Welcome to our side of the country here. Maybe one of these days we could figure out how to link the Portland repeater and the Seattle repeater, but I know, having said that, it may not really be worthwhile thinking about it. Let's see. We're talking about the salmon run, and Lee. Yeah, I used to like the salmon run. That's one of the nets in which I used to always participate. The thing I really liked about that is that everyone's basically trying to call you, and that makes it kind of fun, I thought anyway. It's not like you're trying to call someone 10 times and all these other guys with more power get in before you, so you get to do a little more. Let's see. Oh, Jessica. I forgot to check tonight, but last week, a week ago, I was thinking about you. I happened to notice Sven Gooley had Abbott and Costello. I was thinking about you there. Let's see. Back to you for now, Dave, and 7QO.
Yeah, 7QO, thanks for that. Let's go. Speaking of television shows, let's go to Jessica, KS7UHK.
Tonight on Sven Gooley, they'll be showing Dracula, probably one of the older versions. It should be entertaining. I don't know if I've ever actually watched the whole version of it, because it's usually kind of slow. But as I get older, they're more entertaining to watch. I sleep through half of them sometimes. Let's see. Factoria, we talked about, hello again, Ed, it's good to see you. Factoria up there, the space telescope up there, and that was just kind of really exciting to see someone else put people up into space other than NASA, which I love NASA, but it's good to see that people are still doing this, and they've really got it down to a really good science. And it's good to see that people in Portland have the same kind of backgrounds that we have, which kind of look, basically junky. Some of us not so much. So with that little snidely remark, I'm going to send it back to the KS7UHK.
KS7UHK, Jessica, thanks for that. Let's go to Lee in Port Angeles, N7KC. Okay, the airline for Port Angeles. This is N7KC. Well, Ed, it's good to see you. I was surprised to see you pop in and had fun that is. And are you not hearing me? Am I in? Oh, Okay. I thought James had made a signal that I was not in. Anyway, I don't have much else, to be honest. 7 o'clock is tough for me because of the West Coast Net, which I'm involved in. Always at 7 o'clock. It will change in the wintertime, though. The net changes this time, so anyway, we'll see. With that, I think I'm not going to belabor this any longer and just say back to you, Dave. It's been always a good time for me. And it's good to hear you out there in Covington, Jim. I can't see you, but I can hear you, and you sound good. Even on the vinyl sheet. See you later. Back to that. This is X7CC in Port Angeles. So good.
M7KC, thanks for that, please. Let's go to first, M7CS.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think our stream is experiencing the super high latency again because it is showing me from my last go-round right now. So it's going to take, I guess we're about 10 minutes behind or so with latency. But, Jessica, I didn't realize we had a Brazilian steakhouse in the Seattle area. I'll have to get the name of that from you after the meeting, and I'll find out where that is, because I like those kind of places. They're really good. But yeah, you're right. You have to not eat the entire day if you want to maximize your meal out of that. But that reminds me, back in the early 2000s, we used to meet with people for interviews at work, like the night before, take them out to dinner and everything to wine and dine them. And I remember we took a group of new people to one of the Brazilian steakhouses down in Houston. And then so I asked the candidate we were interviewing, do you like these kind of places? He said, well, I'm a vegetarian, so it's not quite. So we learned from that point on to start asking people ahead of time what their dietary requirements were. Back in the early 2000s, we didn't care about that kind of stuff quite as much, but especially in Houston, I guess. But yeah, it's a lot different now. So anyway, this is Burton Marysville, M7CS, back to that.
M7CS, thanks for that. Let's go on to Richard, G7ITX.
Okay, well, Ed just gave us his 73, and he's off and running for his obligations. And yeah, now the latency really, well, I think typically YouTube has a major struggle with Jim's signal. For whatever reason, it just it doesn't know how to understand I guess all the snow. It's the only thing I can think of. But, what the heck, we're kind of running by the seat of our pants to begin with anyway. I mean, just the way we got Ed in the show, I mean, what the heck. It worked, though. I think you guys could hear him. Of course I could. And I mean, at least we have a repeater. I think Ed said they don't have one. So I mean, so I think we really are ATV, even now under our different way of doing things. But what the heck, I think it's a lot of fun if you want to know the truth. So, let's see here. I'm just going to see if, stand by. Well, okay, I was going to see if you guys could see this. It doesn't, there we go. See, there's that sad little teddy bear that my sister sent me, and the Zoom people can see it, and then I'm going to guess maybe the 1.2 gig guy, people that at least have that might be able to see a little bit. But anyway, I'm pretty excited. I've played my sister 2 or 3 times over the course of the summer, and she would just blow me out of the water every time. I mean, I just couldn't understand why I couldn't compete. But I've been working on it, and but I can't count my chickens before they're hatched. I haven't won. I got one more day to go, but with this kind of lead, and I have been scoring about 100 points normally recently anyway, so I'm confident I'm going to beat her tomorrow, and then I move on to her son, my son-in-law, Joe, up in Anchorage, and it'll be a tough one. I don't know why it shouldn't be like that. It's kind of like gambling, but and when I get my leaded glass trophy, that would be the my sister started it. I didn't even have to be in this fantasy for baseball, if you want to know the truth. It wasn't my idea. They talked me into it, so, but, I don't know. I think the original ITX, was a perfectionist, and he kind of forced me into that kind of mode as well. With that, I don't think it'll get back to me again, so 73 everybody. It's been a lot of fun. KV70M, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that 5D time. Again, this is Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Let's go to Jim, M7QO.
M7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, this time I will not send a picture, and we'll see if maybe that helps the stream. I'll keep my fingers crossed on that. Yeah, I see the repeater now, so that's good. But I don't have it on the stream, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, Dick, we definitely heard Ed on 2 meters. Thank you for doing that. Let's see. I was going to say something, now I forgot what it was. I got distracted a little bit here. Sorry, I got a phone call between my last go-around and now, and kind of thinking about that. But I'll just go back to you, Dave. KD7ZYM and 7QO.
And 7QO. Let's go to James, WU7N.
The flashlight discussion reminds me back when we were in the world, every shopping mall had at least one Radio Shack in it. Do you remember the coupon where you get the free flashlight, and you get this cheesy, cheap plastic tube? It could only open on one end, and if you tried to screw it on too hard, it would pop off. Yes, they were about not as bright as that. No, they weren't that bright. But I found one of those in my garage. I'll have to show it next net. Brought back a lot of memories. Because I think they had like 4 in the entire store, so you had to be one of the first 4 people with your coupon to get the free flashlight. But, well, anyway, I see it's 5 minutes till the hour, so I want to give everybody else a chance here. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bell. You want to go ahead and turn it back to our net control. Dave, take it away.
WU7N, James, thanks for that. Boy, I heard the British Brazilian Steakhouse. I can remember about 25 years ago down in Pioneer Square, there was a new Brazilian steakhouse that was up and had a coupon for a keeper. So I decided to go down and check it out. And to my surprise, it was a deep-fried T-bone steak is what they served. I sort of shook my head and said, well, I guess that's a Brazilian steak, but I never went back again. I like the other idea of having a big steak that you cut off a chunk. That sounds even better yet. But I don't know. 5 years ago down in Pioneer Square, and I know the place didn't last very long. Maybe they didn't change their grease fast enough, and that might have been a problem. So with that, let's get to the top. So Jessica, KS7, UHK.
Last time we were in Amsterdam, which was 2001, we went to a place called the Argentinian, which was a steakhouse. It was right down on I think it was called Damarack, which is right next to where all the trains came and went. And it had this wonderful steak that was just huge, and it didn't seem very expensive. But the key is you had to wave down a waitress to get them to serve you, and you had to wave down a waitress to pay them when you were done, because they're not really quick about wanting to serve you quickly. They're very laid. They're really laid back in Amsterdam, at least this place was. Delicious. It was really fun, and it was a huge steak. But it was nothing like this place over here in Factoria, which I still want to go try one of these days when I need to put some weight on. Let's see. My weather guesser says it's going to be sunny tomorrow, so we'll see how that works out. This is Jessica KS7, UHK at 73.
KS7, UHK, thanks for that. Let's pick up the weight again and put into it M7KC.
Okay, very good. Well, I have nothing to say except 7-3. Imagine that like always. So, good to see you all, and we'll see you down the pike. 7KC, back to you guys.
M7KC, thanks for that. Well, we got time for a break. M7CS.
Well, I didn't really have anything else to say either, so I will also just say 7-3 and good night, everyone, and see you on the afternet party. This is Burton Raceful and 7CS. Back to that.
M7CS. Well, let's see if we can keep Richard down for a minute. K7ITX.
Boy, that's a tall order. Keep me down to a minute? I don't know about that. Gee whiz. Well, yeah, so the cat and the dog are under control, no more fighting, at least for the moment. Yeah, Debbie is on her third night gone. Let's see, let me get that. Let's see, Wednesday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, this is the fourth night gone, so I took her up tomorrow from the daughters over on First Hill. She's been running the main gate for the boat show, South Lake Union, and so that's always a lot of fun stories to hear about that. Her brother came up from Tacoma today and took a look at the boats. They had beautiful weather this morning. So with that, KD7ZIM, K7ITX. 17, everybody. It's been a great time. Back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. We would like to thank the owners and operators of the 08 machine for allowing us to utilize it for our nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, I'm signing off the 08 machine. This is Dave, 87CYM. Good evening all.
N7KC disconnected.